Hello, my name is Mrs. Allen, and I am the band director at Ornado Middle School. Today, I will be helping you with the clarinet all-region music for this year 2020. The first thing you need to do is, of course, have your music, pencil, and a metronome. You can get a metronome on your phone. Just go to your where you get your apps, and there are many free metronomes. But it's very important for you to practice with your metronome, so that way you can keep very steady tempo. Okay. Um, so what I want you to do first is get your music. If you have your book, great. It's page 12. If you don't, if your band director has a copy for you, that's fine too. Let's look at the one on page 12, and I want you to notice the key signature. There are two sharps, okay? The sharps that are affected, I wrote them down here, are F sharp and C sharp. F sharp and C sharp. What I highly recommend that you do, and I did it on mine, is go ahead and take your pencil and mark all of your F sharps and all of your C sharps. All of them. That way you don't forget them, especially right now while you're learning. Okay, so mark on all of them, your F sharps and your C sharps. Another thing I highly recommend is that you go and you mark your measures. Measure 1, measure 2, measure 3. Notice I didn't start here. Okay, these are pickup notes, and that's not a full measure. So don't count this as measure 1. Count the next part right here, measure 1. When I am playing through the music in just a little bit and helping you to learn it, I'm going to refer to the measure numbers. So if I say measure 5, then you know exactly where I am. If I say measure 10, if I say measure 20, then you know where I am very quickly instead of starting to count from the very beginning. So please mark all your sharps, F sharps and C sharps, and also mark and number your measures. Okay. Couple of important notes. D sharps. You're going to see some D sharps in there. They're accidentals because they're not, D sharps are not in the key signature, but D sharps are the same as E flat. And here you also see some G sharp accidentals, and that's the same as A flat. All right. So what I would like for you to do is to pause the video, and if you have not done so, mark all your sharps and number your measures. If you already have done that, that's great. We'll go ahead and keep on going. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go from the very beginning. I have my metronome set at 50, very slowly. Okay. Now another thing you're going to notice is these are 16th notes. I am not going to play them or count them or do anything in 16th notes. I'm going to pretend all of those are 8th notes. So I'm going to count like this. 3, tay, 1, tay, 2, tay, 3, tay. 1, tay, 2, tay, 3, tay. That's pretty much what the rhythm is throughout this whole etude. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm going to do before we get started, there are two very important notes you need to know about. There's a lot of B naturals. You know how to play B natural with two pinkies, B natural, followed by a C sharp, okay? Some of you know to play C sharp over here, and that's great. There's another way to play C sharp. So B here, and then you can play B with one pinky. You don't have to have both pinkies down. Okay, then right here, you see that one? This key right there. That's C sharp. And what you're going to do is you're going to let go of the B and go to the C sharp. Okay, B, C sharp, B, C sharp. There's a lot of this in this particular etude. Okay, so I want you to make sure you're playing B, C sharp. All right. There's another note in here, and I'll talk about it. It's in measure 5, and it's the third note of measure 5, A sharp. A sharp is the same as B flat. So you'll play A sharp, B flat. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start from the very beginning. I'm going to say note names, and I'm going to finger it just like this so you can see. If you are comfortable with fingering along, great. If you just want to look at it and follow along, that's fine too. But I'm going to go ahead and say note names in rhythm. Ready? 1, 2. F sharp, B, D, E, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp, B, D, G, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, B flat or the A sharp. I'm going to start on measure 5. Ready? On the C sharp, measure 5. C sharp, B, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp, E, D, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp. And I should be on the second line on measure 8. Now I would like to play that for you very slowly, the same speed. I'm going to play that for you. Either follow along. If you can finger, that's even better. Here we go. 1, 2. And I should have ended on the C sharp in measure 8, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna keep on going. These are the 16th notes in measure 8, starting on the F sharp, B. And if you notice, it's exactly like the beginning. So if you learn the beginning, then you'll be able to play this part, okay? So this is measure 8. I'm gonna start on the 16th notes, pick up to measure 9, finger, finger, and F sharp, B, D, E, D, C sharp, B, C, D, E, D, C sharp, B, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp, B, D, C sharp, D, C sharp, B, A, C sharp, B, sharp, B, A, G sharp, right there. Can you please look at measure 13? G sharp is the same as A flat, and that's your side. I'm going to start on measure 13, B natural, finger, and B, C sharp, B, A, G sharp, B, A, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, A, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, F sharp. I'm sorry, let me go over measure 15 again, slowly. G sharp, A, G sharp. Now, the next note is an F sharp. You can play it here, F sharp, but look at the next note, and I didn't talk about this. E sharp. E sharp is the same as F natural. E sharp is the same, it's just a fancy way of saying F natural. E sharp, F. E sharp is the same as F natural. So the note before is F sharp in measure 15. You can play it like this and you can flip, right? And then it goes back to G sharp side. There's another way. You can play F sharp with F and these two bottom. I call that side F sharp, these two bottom ones, okay? Then you let go for E sharp, same as F, and then you could go to G sharp. Whichever way, this is the proper way to do it. G sharp, F natural, G sharp. You can do it that way, that's a proper way. Or you can go G sharp, F sharp, flip, G sharp. Okay, you can do that, all right? So let me go over that measure very slowly. Measure 15, finger, I'm gonna play, do them real slow. Finger 15, G sharp, A, G sharp, F natural, G sharp, F sharp. Okay, I'm gonna do it the flipped way. Finger, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, flip, G sharp, F sharp. Okay. Either way, I prefer this way, the side one, but if you want to go ahead and flip it, you can do that as well. Okay. Now I'm going to start on measure 14, which is the third line. Third line, measure 14, and I'll do it in the speed. This is the 8th note equals 50. Ready? Finger. A, B, A, G sharp, F sharp, A, G sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, F, G sharp, F sharp, right? Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start on measure 8 and I'm going to play that for you. This is starting on measure 8 on the 16th note. Remember this part, measure 8 going into measure 9 is like the beginning, okay? Ready? Either finger or follow along, measure 8. Start with the 16th note. 1, 2. And that was measures 8 to the F sharp on measure 16. Okay, now we're going to keep on going. Measure 16, we're going to start on the F sharp right there on measure 16. Okay, now if you notice, look at 16 on the F sharp, the high F sharp. I'm starting on the 8th notes. F sharp, E, D sharp. D sharp is the same as E flat. I'm going to turn off my metronome right now because this is very tricky, okay? So we're going to start on the F sharp, finger with me, F sharp, E, then measure 17, D sharp, okay? The next note is C natural, all right? I suggest to do this. I suggest for you to slide your finger to C, right? Because the next note is a B natural. And look at your next, the 4th note of measure 17 is a D sharp. There. This is very, very tricky. If it was not a D sharp, then it was D natural, that would be easy. But because it's a D sharp, go D sharp, C, B, D sharp. Does everyone see that? C sharp, B, I'm sorry, let me do that again. D sharp, C, B, D sharp, right? So I would suggest you practice doing that. All right, now let me go ahead and save note names and finger. This is starting on the 16th notes on measure 16. This is the next little section, okay? Finger, finger, and F sharp, E, D sharp, C, B, D sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, C sharp, A, G, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, B, G, F sharp. Stop. Let me go over measure 21. 21, measure N. B, A, G, B, G, F sharp. Next line, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A sharp. Right there, measure 23 is an A sharp, B flat. I'm going to start on measure 22, finger 22. E, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B, A sharp, G, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B natural. And I stop on the quarter note B natural in measure 24. I'm going to go ahead and play for you measure 16 starting on the F sharp, high F sharp. Finger and that was measure 16 through the quarter note in measure 24. Okay, at any time you can pause this, you can rewind it and go over something else. This is the beauty of it being recorded, and you can see it and go over it as many times as you need to. Now I'm going to start at measure 24. This is measure 24. Remember that C sharp I showed you to play right here on your on your right hand? Well, if you look at the low note in measure 24, that's a low F sharp. You do it the same way. You're going to play that low F sharp right here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and say note names. You can either finger or follow along, or if you want to play, that's perfectly fine too. Ready? 24 on the low F sharp, finger, and F sharp B, D, E, D, C sharp B, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp B, C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp B, D, G, A, G, F sharp E, D, C sharp B, A sharp. Okay, that needs some explanation. Look at measure 29. You have a C sharp, B natural. I would play what I call fork fingering. It's like a B flat and this fork fingering. Please use your third finger. Don't use this finger. No, no, no. Use this one right here. And then after that B natural, if you see that A sharp, which is the same as B flat, then you're just going to let go for B flat. Okay? Yes, you can flip. You can flip. You can go C sharp, B, B flat. You can flip too, but the proper way is B here, B flat here, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go over to measure 29, starting on C sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and use the fork fingering. Finger 29. C sharp, B, A sharp, C sharp, F sharp, E, D, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, F, I'm sorry, the second to the last note, it's an E sharp, same as F natural. So the last three notes, E, everything down, then let go to E sharp, which is F natural. And then that last note, F sharp quarter note, you're gonna play over here. Okay? If you're familiar with your chromatic scale, E, F, or E sharp, F sharp, E, F, F sharp. Okay? And the only thing that moves is this pinky on your left hand. Okay? Let me do the last two measures for you. This is the last line, starting on measure 30. Finger measure 30. D, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, F, F sharp. Okay? Now, let me go ahead and play for you that last section, 24 to 32. There we go. 1, 2. And that's the end of the etude, the one on page 21. Okay. Now, what I would like for you to do is when you practice it in sections. Practice it in sections. And this is how I would divide up the sections. Beginning to measure 8, the quarter notes, section 1. Section 2, pickups to measure 9, the 2 8th notes or 16th notes at the end of measure 8, and to the quarter note, F sharp in measure 16. The next section, I would do pickups to measure 17, those 16th notes, measure 16, to the quarter note B in measure 24, and then the pickups, those two 16th notes at the end of 24, all the way to the quarter note F sharp in measure 32. And that's how I would break it down and practice. Then you can do it slowly, and then you can speed up each section, and then you can put two sections together. Then when you're comfortable, 3 sections, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to play the entire etude at the slow speed. Here we go. This is the very beginning. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go on, if you notice the first 3 measures, they have a crescendo and a decrescendo. If you see that, let me show you right here. So you have crescendo and decrescendo. So what they want you to start here at a piano, soft, and you're gonna get a little louder. The loudest part is gonna be right in the middle of the measure. Then you're gonna go back soft. You start soft and then go loud, soft and then go loud. Now, if you notice, they didn't put it down on any other measure, right? So what I would suggest is go ahead and do the same thing on all the other measures. Okay, so we can add some musicality into it. Right? So I'm going to play the whole thing at a slow speed. We're at about eighth note equals 50. Eighth note equals 50. Okay. Ready? Follow along. If you can finger, that's even better. Finger. 1, 2. And that's the end. You get into the end in a slow speed. It eventually says eighth note equals 112. So let me go ahead and put it up to there so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea how it will go. I always tell my students this: play as fast as you can, cleanly. So if it's not at eighth note equals 112 and it's slower than that, that's okay. There's some that are going to be able to play it that fast and some won't, and that's all right. The most important thing is getting the right notes, the right rhythms, the dynamics, and making it sound the very, very best you can. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of an idea of, that's just a little bit. 3 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 3 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 3 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 3 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 3 tay, 1 tay, 2 tay, 3 tay, 1. Now that's too fast, and you slow it down where you can play it. Okay, but the most important thing is to take it really slow Be accurate in your fingering. Make sure your notes are correct. If you learn your notes correctly slowly, then speeding it up is not going to be a problem. All right. I wouldn't worry too much about speed. I would worry about being clean. Okay? So I hope that this helps you. I am going to play it now. I don't think I'm going to go quite as fast as 112, but I'm going to go ahead and play it at a faster speed so you can kind of get an idea. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be perfect, but at least it gives you a little bit of an idea of how it should sound like at a faster speed. This is eighth note equals 70, so we're kind of in the middle here. Okay, ready? You can follow, or if you can finger along, that's even better. 1, 2. So I hope this video helps you while you're learning the all-region clarinet music. And the best thing and the best advice that I give my students is you need to be consistent. You need to practice a little bit every day. If you do that, then you'll learn this very, very quickly. If you don't practice every day or are not consistent with your practice, then it will be harder to learn the music, okay? All right, the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to go to page 16. It's page 16 in your book if you have your book, or if your band director gave you a copy, that's fine too. Okay? And it looks like this, right? All right, it's in 3/4. And if you notice, you have 2 flats. Those are B flats and E flats, B flats and E flats. I would go in and mark my B flats. I would mark all my B flats. I would mark any E flats that you have, any of those. All right, so go ahead and do that now. Another thing I would do is recommend please number your measures. So when we refer to your measures, we know exactly where they are. Okay, so make sure that you put measure numbers, number all of your measures. If you'd like to pause for now, please do so. You should have, it's going to stop right here on the low G, half note, that's measure 14. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 measures, right? Okay, now this one we are going to do sort of what we did to the other one. We are not gonna play it at quarter note, like quarter note gets the beat. We are going to double everything. We're gonna double all of the values. It'll be easier for you to learn. So instead of 3 beats per measure, it's going to be 6 beats per measure. So let me show you. I'm going to put my metronome, I'm going to put it at 70 for now. And I'm going to count it. You can follow along. Ready? And 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. Let me start over. That was not very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take 6. Take 1, 2, 3. Take 2. Take 3. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It makes more sense when I play it. But what I'm doing, I'm just going to play it very, very slowly, and I'm going to double all the values. So quarter notes become half notes, eighth notes become quarter notes, and 16th notes become eighth notes. Okay. So what I want you to do is you're going to finger. Okay. So let's go ahead and finger. Ready? Finger from the beginning. Remember, everything's doubled, and I'll say note names. Ready? And D, B flat, F sharp, A, G, D, G, B flat, D, B flat, G, D, B flat, G, D, B flat, A, C, D. Now look at measure 4. Measure 4 has a set of tiny little notes. Those are called grace notes. See those right here? These are called grace notes. And you're going to play the A, and then before you play that other A, you're going to play these 2 grace notes. And those 2 grace notes are a C and a B flat. So you'll play A, C, B flat, A, ba-da-dum, A, da-da-dum. Okay, they go really fast. And I'll play it for you as an example in just a minute. Now, if you're not familiar with very, very high notes on clarinet, this note right here is a high D. Let me show you how to finger that high D. It's like an F with the back, but you have this finger up. That's a high D. You can add your pinky so it can sound a little bit more in tune. If it sounds very flat, then you'll have to add your pinky. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't worry about it. But again, the high D is like an F, and this finger up. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and let me play that first part for you so you can understand how it goes. Okay. Ready? Finger along. And 1, 2. And I'll stop there for now, okay? Can we go starting on measure 5? I didn't say note names for measure 5, so let me go ahead and say note names for measure 5. Measure 5 to the middle of measure 8. Finger, measure 5. E flat, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, G, B flat, A, G, F sharp, G, C sharp, D. Okay, lots of accidentals. Okay, there's F sharp accidentals. All right, there's C sharp accidentals. I would play it here. Right, so there's lots of accidentals. You have to be very, very careful. Okay, right now I'm going to say note names. Starting at the end of measure 8. At the end of it, it's the pickup to measure 9, starting on an E flat. Finger, please, or follow along. Finger, and E flat, D, D, F sharp, D, E flat, D, D, G, B flat, A. Let me go back to measure 9. We have another small grace note. On measure 9, it is right there if you see that, okay? So you're going to play the D, and then after that, you're going to play an F natural. That's the grace note, the F, and then an E flat. So D param, D param. It's really, really quick, and I'll play it for you in just a moment. Okay? All right. Let's start again, fingering from measure 9, and I'll go to the end to measure 14. Ready? This is measure, pick up to measure 9 on the E flat finger, measure 8, second part, finger, and E flat, D, D, F sharp, D, F, E flat, D, D, G, B flat, A, G, stop. Those 16th notes, I'm going to say them very, very slowly. Okay, I'm going to turn the metronome off, and I'm just going to do them very slowly. So let's start on the G. On measure 11, the last line, the third line. G, after G, you're going to play B flat the side, F sharp, G, D, E flat, B flat, C, D, then after that D in measure 12, E flat. Now, E flat, you're playing E flat here. You need to play, you could slide to C, and I showed you to do that on the other song, but that was a very special circumstance. That's the only way that would work. This one, after E flat, you can play C here. You see it? It's this key right there. It's the one behind these two. Okay, not the top one. Don't do that one. It's this one. So E flat. See how my pinky's there? For C. Right? So let's start on measure 12. Play the D, then the E flat, then the C, A, F sharp, E flat. That's why it's very important for you to mark all your B flats, all your E flats. Because if you didn't mark it, you'll probably forget that it's there and you'll want to play E natural, and that's incorrect. So the F sharp, the middle of measure 12, F sharp, E flat, C, A. I would play F sharp here. Okay, we did that on the other song, F sharp, G, B flat, A, G. Okay, I'm going to go back to measure 11. Now I'm going to do it in time very, very slowly. Very, very slowly in time. Measure 11, finger, and G, B flat, F sharp, G, D, E flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, C, A, F sharp, E flat, C, A, F sharp, G, F, B flat, A, G. Okay, I'm sorry if it was a little messy. Let me do that one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so we can get our fingers again. So measure 11. G, B flat, F sharp, G, D, E flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, C, remember that, E flat, C, A, F sharp, E flat, C, A, F sharp, G, B flat, A, G. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play for you starting in the second half of measure 8. Second half of measure 8. Sorry about that. Here we go. Second half of measure 8 on the E flat, and I'll play to the end. Ready? Finger, and Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and play all of it. Right? And I'm going to just pick up this speed, and I'm going to go at about, it tells you eighth note equals 88 to 96. And let me go ahead, I'll do it at about 70. That's a good in between. There we go. Here we go. Ready? Here's the beginning. Finger. Ready? And that is what we call the slow etude, the one on page 18. Okay? I hope this helps in your practice. On your own, please, you can speed it up. You can go as slow as you need to go. If you can speed it up, that's great. But remember, the most important thing is to get the right notes, the right rhythms. Let me turn that off. The right notes, the right rhythms with a great, great sound. I hope I helped you, and it was my pleasure to help you with the all region music. Bye bye.